The third avoidable mistake is falling in love with a choice. So let's explain what this means. This is kind of a fun one. So let's say we have a reading passage, and let's say this is our passage. This passage is about penguins. I, the author of this passage, really love penguins. They are so cute and funny and kind of goofy too. Anyway, that's the end of this passage about penguins. I love penguins. So the question is, what is the primary purpose of this passage? So what does it mean to fall in love with a choice? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start evaluating my choices, start reading A, and then, the heavens open up, angels start singing, aha, discuss penguins. I mean, this was so obviously about penguins. I mean, what more do I have to read? I guess, as we said in error number one mistake is just to pick it and move on. But let's say we're going to be good test takers. We're going to check all four. But, I'm pretty happy with A. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check the rest of the choices. But I'm so happy with this. I mean, this is so right that, this stuff here, maybe I'll read it. Maybe not. If I read it, I'll probably just sort of make excuses for it because this is so good. This is so right that, I'm pretty happy with A. But let's check all four choices, right? So elaborate on an exciting business opportunity. No, nothing to do with that. Undermine an argument against studying birds. No, I mean, it's talking about penguins, but that's a little bit too general here. And then outline the author's positively inclined perspective towards a particular kind of animal. I mean, that's not even mentioning penguins. That just seems too general, I guess. So you know what? I'm pretty happy with A. Again, maybe there's something going on here, but no, A is really good. I mean, it's exactly what I was looking for. It's about penguins. I mean, this passage is so obviously about penguins. I mean, it's got to be A, right? So you might see where this is going. This is obviously a little exaggerated. Of course, the passage is ridiculous and the choices are ridiculous, but this sort of mistake I've seen over and over. Falling in love with a choice because especially the first part of it looks so good. If it's a reading question, for example, or writing, it's something that you were expecting to see, or if it's math, it's, it just seems like it's the right answer. And, you focus on that choice and it seems so right that, maybe you check the rest of the choices, maybe you don't, but you're not really giving them a fair shake. And especially with A, you're not either reading the rest of it or not really giving it a fair look, because if we reveal what's under the blur here, discuss penguins and why the author hates them so much. I mean, this is obviously incorrect, very clearly incorrect, as much as it was correct to say this passage is about penguins. So even though this part of the choice is no good, I have to get rid of it, right? Or even though this part of the choice was so good, I have to get rid of this choice because the whole choice has got to work. And I don't want to, even though this fits, I got to check the whole choice. And if there's a flaw, I got to drop it. You got to be willing to let go of choices that you thought were good. Go back to the drawing board. B and C, I still agree, are really bad, but let's reevaluate D. Outline the author's positively inclined perspective towards a particular kind of animal. Well, the particular kind of animal, that's a penguin, specifically. Positively inclined perspective, yeah. I love penguins. I love penguins. Here's why I love penguins. So there's a little bit of outlining here, just describing reasons. So even though at first glance, maybe D wasn't as exciting as the first part of A, it holds up. The whole choice is supportable. So if you see a choice that you think is right, I know it's exciting because we think we found an answer, but just as is always often the case with a lot of these errors, just wait, check all four choices, check the rest of that choice, make sure that whole choice fits, and maybe it turns out, yeah, B and C and D are bad and A is right. But a lot of times there will be a trap there. So just take a minute, check the choices, be thorough, especially with the choice you're going to pick, make sure it fits. And then if it does, pick it. Otherwise, find something else.